GoldShore Resources, ticker GSHR, just released an updated MRE for its gold project Moss, adding a lot of ounces in the indicated category and increasing the grade. We caught up with CEO Brad Richards to get the details. Welcome, Brad.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on again.
Happy to have you. Brad, as I just said, GoldShore just released a new resource yesterday for Moss, i.e. the deposits Moss and East Coast Stream. Before we talk about the numbers, though, I would like to know what made you decide to prepare another MRE relatively shortly after the initial estimate.
Yeah, I think the main reason for updating the MRE was because, we've done so much field work in the last 8 months since the MRE was published in April. And we've done an extensive remodeling of the low-grade material. We've added greater geological understanding of the project. So I think we felt that there would be a meaningful increase in quality, both the category and grade, and possibly quantum in ounces, which there was.
That's certainly true. But before we get to that, another question: what kind of new data was incorporated into that calculation? It's mostly historical data, revisited, some drilling, what have you?
Yeah, it was no new drilling. We stopped drilling in February of 2023, just simply because of budget, because of the market, etc. And we wanted to play a bit of catch up. So we did a lot of field work, a lot of geological mapping, remodeling, as well as a great deal of work analyzing the historical core. There's been over 150,000 historically drilled meters in the project. So there wasn't really any budget to work with in half one and half two of last year for drilling. So we went out in the field and we looked at core, and we started to generate a lot of geological data and data comparison to the historical drilling data sets, and also lithology, the stratigraphy, all the geological information you get from that. And it also helped the credibility and the quality change from inferred to indicated.
Certainly. Well then, just to shortly recap the numbers for us. What do Moss and East Coast Stream contain?
For sure. We now have an indicated mineral resource of 1.535 million ounces, grading 1.23 grams per ton. We also have an inferred mineral resource estimate of 5.198 million ounces, grading 1.1 grams per ton of gold. So, it's only about a 1% increase overall from the 2023 MRE, but the overall grade increase versus the 2023 MRE is approximately 11%. And that's really, really meaningful.
It is. And the increase of about 1%, that's in tonnage, right? Total resource tonnage.
Yeah, 1% in tonnage, yeah.
About 11% in grade. Yeah, that's significant for sure. So, as you alluded to already, now a relatively large part of the resources in the category indicated, which increases the confidence. What other steps were taken to obtain an even higher quality in the, if you can say it like that, in the new resource?
Yeah, I think the field work we did in looking at the historic core was key. I think the exercise gave our independent consultant, Apex Geoscience, it gave them the comfort and the confidence in recategorizing, 23% of the current resource into the indicated category. So it was work we had to do, but it was work I think we hadn't done, and we really wanted to kind of preserve that for a period of a field season where we weren't drilling.
Okay. Thanks. So overall, that's I think something like 6.7 million ounces of gold now in all the categories. That's substantial, but I guess not the end of the line. Where do you see the potential to further grow the Moss resource?
Well, I think there's a combination of work that we have done. If we look at the airborne geophysics we did in 2021 and the 2023 summer field program, I think, as Pete describes it, he's put some meat on the bones. And specifically, we've been able to fine tune some of the targets and define them as clear trends representing extensions to the current deposit. And there's parallel belts that have also been identified with historic drilling in some of them, or some that have had little or no drilling. So we have over 36 targets that we need to test based on the work that we have done, and these are all going to be highly probable mineralization, and we'll probably get good hits on them.
Well, looking forward to hearing more on that. So then how exactly do you want to realize that potential? Can we expect more surveys or more drilling this year or next year? What's the path there?
Yeah, I think we are confident telling the market we have a path to 10 or 12 million ounces, and that would require a pretty large drill program and another MRE at the end of it. But that's a 50,000 meter drill program to step out of our current resource. Mind you, they will all be mineable ounces because they will be along strike or in parallel to the existing strike. So from surface and all mineable. It's not like we're building inventory at depth and going down 1,000 meters. These are all mineable. So that really presents an opportunity for scale and scope of a processing facility and scope of a project. But I think, are we going to be drilling this year? That is a very difficult question. The first question that needs to be answered is, are we going to have the market cap to be able to raise money for a drill program? And at $4 an ounce today, we don't. If we were an $80 million market cap company trading at kind of 35 cents or 40 cents, yeah, the answer is yes. And then the question is, where would you spend that? Would you infill and create a project around the existing resource? Or would you step out and find your path to 10 million ounces? And that's a question that we don't need to answer right now. It's a question we'll answer when we have the ability to raise money to do it, because the market will shift. The market will tell us, where we should be spending that money, whether a big project is viable and will create the most value, or whether a small project will.
And also, as you mentioned, one of the milestones you want to reach, or GoldShore wants to considers reaching, is a PEA. Well, that would also depend on where you're going to be drilling. Are you going to go after growing the resource, or are you going to look at what you have in terms of a PEA and define the viability of what you have there, right?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think the Moss gold deposit, I think the metallurgy needs to be better understood from a perspective as to how we scope a project. So we are currently doing met test work, column testing for heap leachability. And if the heap leach delivers, economic returns, we now have 5 or 6 processing permutations that will make sense. It could be flotation at a very high grade and heap leach and stockpile low grade. It could be flotation and heap leach all of the material. It could be whole ore leach. It could be a combination of everything. So we need to, get a little further down the road before we make those decisions. And we need to get the results from the heap leach testing before we, actually land on a scope of project. Keep in mind, Bjorn, when we started a PEA last year, we were looking at 700 million capex and a whole ore leach process. And the market just didn't give us value for that. We pivoted. We went down to a 250, 300 million capex project at 5,000 ton a day from 30,000 ton. The market still didn't care. So I think we just need to be smart about what is going to deliver the best economics. The market will come to us, when they understand this better, but also when there's pools of capital available to come back to our sector.
Right. Well, certainly, we both know that the market for junior resource companies at the moment are, well, TAF almost isn't describing it, especially as regards financing. So can you tell us a bit more about what GoldShore's situation is in that regard? I mean, you have some funds, you raised some funds last year, so you're good there. But as you said, for a big drill program, that would be hard at the moment.
Yeah, I think, we're preparing for the worst, and we've prepared for the worst. We have over $4 million in the treasury. We're burning, our G&A is under $60,000 a month. So we are preserving cash. We have enough money for 24 months. And if we need to kind of hunker down, we'll do that. If there's an opportunity to raise money later in the year for a drill program, we'll do that. But the reality is this: we're trading at $4 an ounce in the ground, and it costs $10 to $15 an ounce for discovery costs, and that depends on the season. So there's no current rationale to support raising funds until we're at least a $75 or $80 million market cap company, because historic trading norms for inferred material are around $20 to $25 an ounce in the ground, and for indicated, that's $40 to $50 an ounce, which illustrates under normal market conditions we should be trading at $137 million market cap potential. That's using the average of those norms, and we're not. We're trading at $30 million. We're trading at almost 1/5 of what the traditional norms are. So there's a lot of potential to recouple this uncoupled valuation relationship with the capital markets. So that will come, and I think that will come with time. So we're getting ready. We're utilizing our flow through dollars to conduct the heap leach testing and do other field work this summer, so that we can generate some news and get through our flow through dollars, because we have to spend over $1.5 million by the end of the year, and we'll do that in a very constructive way out in the field. But that's not enough to support a drill program. So my job is to tell everybody this story, and we're doing it on a shoestring, but we're out there and we're trying to get everybody to understand the macro, the geopolitical situation, the macroeconomic situation, the U.S. election that's coming. It's all setting up for a very, very strong gold price environment, and we will provide that leverage to that environment. When you buy GoldShore, you'll be buying leverage to that environment in multiples of what gold's going to do.
Right. Well, yeah, certainly, and you're not alone in that opinion. I've talked to a couple of people, and they think, gold has lots of room to move with what's going on in the world. So just give us a short recap or summary for our audience. Why should they look at GoldShore Resources now at this moment in time?
Well, Bjorn, I think the value proposition is simple. We are severely undervalued to our peers and to the gold price, and we're entering a gold price environment that is unprecedented in the last 50 or 60 years. So if investors feel that the current chaos in the global environment, and the imbalance of the U.S. balance sheet, the U.S. election coming at the end of the year, then I think people are going to want to put their liquid assets into wealth preservation products, and gold is one of those products. So you buy gold physical, you buy gold majors, and you buy gold's pipeline of juniors to provide you with the largest preservation of capital and the largest return on that capital. Because when the global capital markets and there's a pending global banking crisis and a real estate crisis, when it comes to fruition, and I think it's an if not a when, this kind of everything bubble is going to burst like a nuclear bomb around the world, and we are going to feel economic pain like we have never felt before. So instability and chaos is the synonym to gold investment. I think that when this happens, liquid assets are going to find a home. They're going to find a home in gold. We're going to see large pools of capital come back here. So as I said to you earlier, patience is a virtue, but it's a virtue I'm getting sick of having, because we've always talked about these catalysts for the last 2 or 3 or 4 years, and we just haven't seen them come to fruition. But I think now it is at a breaking point, and I think we are going to see good things happen in our sector, both in gold and to GoldShore. And I think there's no better time to be invested in our space and in our company than now. We will deliver multiple returns to not just the market, but also to the gold price.
Well, then, thank you very much. That's certainly a great statement to end today's discussion on, I think. I'm looking forward to hear more as the year in GoldShore progress, and we'll get back to you on that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And thanks, everyone, for listening.